Good afternoon, my name is Neil Powell. I'm pastor of a church here in Birmingham in the UK, which is our country's second largest city. 20 years ago I started a church. 10 years ago we started a project in our city that brought together churches from across the evangelical spectrum, different tribes, denominations and networks, to consider together how we might reach our city for Christ and do more together than we might be able to do on our own. And that became 2020 Birmingham. Our goal was to start and to grow 20 healthy gospel churches in 10 years. And by God's grace, we've seen 19 of those churches started, with 3 more in the pipeline. So we're confident that we'll get to our goal in that time. 20 churches sounds quite a lot, but in a city of over a million, in one way, it's just scratching the surface. So we're working together now prayerfully for a further 30 churches in the next 10 years. That's 20 in 10 years, 30 in the next 10 years, that's 50. And if each of those churches could plant once in their lifetime, that would be 100 new churches for our city. And we need churches of all shapes and sizes. We need churches that are equipped to reach different people groups in our city. And in one sense, we therefore recognize that coming together helps us to work most effectively. I might not plant a church in exactly the same way. I might have some different theological distinctives from a neighbouring church, but I have so much to learn from them in the business of planting, and so much encouragement and blessing to offer to them as well. So we have planters forums that gather on a monthly basis where the different church planters meet with one another. We pray for one another. We have peer-to-peer support, training, coaching, equipping for the task. It's also where we begin to think, where are the needs in the city? And 2020 Birmingham has become something of a platform through which we encourage people to join us and be part of what God is doing. We've written a book called Together for the City. And in our book, we try to describe what has happened, what God has chosen to do, and also reflecting on the gospel, why collaboration in church planting is something that we'd encourage people across the cities of the world to consider. Essentially, 3 values drive what we do. One is compassion for the lost and the urgent need to reach those who don't know Christ. Surely we can do more together than we can on our own. The second principle is a generosity of spirit, that we want to work with others in the city who love Jesus, who love the city and believe that church planting is a key way to reach it. And thirdly, a humility of spirit that says our tribe and network doesn't have all of the answers for the greater needs that our city faces. And maybe we need to listen more and learn from one another in that process. It's been a pleasure to be able to tell you a little bit about our story, and we continue to be in prayer for all that God has done through you and will do through you in the months and years to come.